Hey, so what's up? It's me, that dope hippie girl, and I know you guys are used to me um, writing the blog, but I just felt like this particular topic I needed to show you guys my body language so that you could get my full emotion of this. Um, and this is going to be my last entry of the year. I'm going to take the rest of the year off to kind of relax, relate, release, and kind of just realign my chakras and focus on what type of energy I want to bring into 2019 and what that looks like for me in my personal life and me as that dope hippie girl. So, why a video? This what do I need to talk about? What do I need to talk about that I needed to show y'all motherfuckers my actual body language? Well, I've been getting a lot of questions, and the majority of the questions are about who I am as a person, and in particular why I canceled my workshop series event and why I'm not going to be doing them in the future. If anyone has ever met me in real life, and my friends in my personal life know that my personal mantra is always be organic to you. And what I mean by that is don't do anything that's not natural, anything that you don't want to do, that's not something that you feel in your heart, in your head, in your soul, in your spirit. If you're not drawn to do it, don't do it. And I have made the mistake in my life with past endeavors of doing something because I thought that it was what was best for me, because somebody looked at me and said, yo, I see X, Y, and Z in you. I think you could do da 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 da. And I took it and I ran with it because we don't know any better. When you don't necessarily know exactly what your dream is or what your purpose is, or if you're still trying to figure that out, you take the compliments from people and you run with them because you think that that's your purpose. If someone was able to see that in you, you make the mistake of thinking that that's what you're supposed to do. And that's what I did. And I did it in a past life with an endeavor. I had some very trusted people tell me, hey, you would be great at this. You should do it. And I took off with that business and I was miserable. And I wound up shutting the business down and resenting it. To not be vague, I had a catering business once. I love to cook. It's not a secret. I'm very good at it. I was raised by old Southern black people, and cooking is something that's in my DNA. I was never taught how to cook formally. I just sat in the kitchen and I learned. And I love it. It is my sanctuary sometimes. Believe it or not, right up there with weed. It is one of the things that I can do mindless and just go in the kitchen and create things for my loved ones. And that's my love language. Let me feed you. And so I had some loved ones tell me, hey, you'd be great. They had me cater a party for, their mom. It was a big deal. And it just snowballed from there. I just took that momentum and I did it for a few years, but I was miserable. It made me hate cooking. And it was so much to the point where I didn't even cook at home. And that didn't go over very well with my wife. She was like, look, bitch, you got to do something. And I found myself not being happy because it wasn't what I wanted to do. And I stopped doing it. And so how does that play into what I'm doing now? I'll tell you. I started a blog because I noticed that at the table in the cannabis community, there weren't people who looked like me. There were black people, but they were always surrounded by a shit ton of whites. There were hardly any women, and there damn sure wasn't anybody representing the gay community. There were no lesbians, there were no gay men at the table, and I looked around and I was like, y'all know we smoke weed too, right? Why is nobody representing us? And I'm looking and I'm trying to find one of me at the table, and I realized maybe it's me who should be sitting at the table. And so I decided to come on social media, the best form ever. Most people, they dislike social media, but social media has been a great outlet for me because I am extremely introverted. I'm bordering on being a little bit of a hermit. I don't hang out much. I don't have many friends. I have a very small circle of extremely trusted and just awesome motherfuckers. And for the most part, I keep to myself. But social media is my way of reaching people who I would never ever see because I keep to myself so much. And so I decided, all right, Instagram, get a blog going. Let's do this. So that I could become that voice for the black community, for the gay community in cannabis. Because believe it or not everybody who smokes weed is a criminal. I ain't never been to jail. I've never been arrested. Shit, I barely have gotten parking and speeding tickets. No, I ain't gonna lie. I've gotten a lot of speeding tickets. Shh, don't tell nobody. But, you know, for the most part, I'm from the hood. Believe it or not, I grew up in a neighborhood that's notorious for its crime rate. From inner city Baltimore, I'm never gonna deny that part of me. I don't give a fuck how high I reach in life. Growing up in the hood is what made me who I am, what drove me to want to grow and want to heal. Because if you are from the hood, especially my neighborhood in Baltimore, you are a trauma survivor. It's as simple as that. But people look at you when you come from the hood and they automatically label you and categorize you as a criminal or a bad entity. You're not somebody who's worthy of the finer things in life, and that's just a bunch of bullshit. I am a hippie-fied person. I am a diverse hippie-fied person. No, I don't wear deodorant. I don't wear lotion. 98% of what's in my kitchen is organic, non-GMO, no preservatives, things of that nature, no processed food. There are some days when I want some shit that's just, you know, processed and packaged. I'm not gonna lie, like everybody else from the hood, I love me a slice of American cheese or a grilled cheese sandwich every now and again. But for the most part, I try to live my life in a healthier way for me and my family. And so I've always been the weird girl growing up because I like things that most people in the black community, especially in the hood, in the city, in the hood, don't like. I like yoga. I know about my chakras and aligning them. As people say, talk to rocks. I believe in the healing properties of crystals and, you know, reading your cards and just different energies and vibrations and frequencies and things of that nature. I go back and forth with the Bible all the time and Christians and things of that nature. And I love science. And so I'm a very different kind of diverse person. And I noticed that there was no seat at the table for me. And so in trying to find my way and to figure out exactly who is or what is that dope hippie girl, I allowed the same thing to happen to me that happened to me with my catering business. I allowed people to tell me, you would be great at this, you should do this, you should do that, you should teach classes. People would come to this. People want to know you have knowledge about weed that most motherfuckers on an everyday basis don't even know exists. Most people from where I'm from, motherfuckers just out on the corner buying a bag of weed. They don't know if it's an indica, sativa, hybrid. They fall for the, oh, I got that loud. Let me say this. There's no such thing as loud or Reggie. Every weed has a strain. Some weed is this strong, some weed is this strong, some is in the middle. There's no such thing as loud or Reggie. All weed has a name, and it does many beautiful things. But these are the things that I randomly know. Terpenes, shit like that. I've gone to Colorado and I've studied under cannabis chef and other cannabis professionals who've been doing this for decades, and finally we are at a place in our country where we have the platform to actually speak on it. And so when I'm just sitting around with my friends getting high and I'm randomly spitting out facts, you know, my friends are like, dude, you should really consider teaching a class. And so I started the workshop series because medical marijuana is a thing now in Maryland, and the dispensaries, believe it or not, are not teaching people. The state is not teaching people. They want to keep you ignorant so that you can just buy from them blindly. The things that they do to the weed that they grow, that they sell in dispensaries, is absolutely despicable. And so I take joy in educating people about our beloved Mary Jane. And I was like, yeah, I can do this. I can hold a workshop series. But what I realized is that requires a level of extroversion and being social that I just do not possess. That's not my skill set. And it caused me a level of stress that sunk me into a depression. I couldn't find my way out. It was like trying to climb your way out of a black hole, and I just couldn't. And so I realized you're doing it again. You're being someone who other people think you should be. This is not organic to you, so don't do this. And that's why I decided I can't do the workshop series. It's just not who I am as a person. Can I blog? Absolutely. Can I do a video vlog? Absolutely. Can I talk about the things that I experience in cannabis? Abso-fucking-lutely, I can. And that is where I choose for my voice to live in my platform. I choose to do things my way, you know? And that being organic to me is how I want to end my 2018. 2018 taught me a lot of shit. I finally launched my site, that dopehippie-girl.com, and it has been what I didn't know it would be. I thought I was just going to be out there talking, you know, smoking my weed, talking my shit. But what I didn't realize is that blogging has actually helped me heal from a lot of childhood trauma. And the more I reveal what I need to heal, I'm realizing people are coming to me and they're sending me messages like, I'm glad you opened up about that shit, because I was battling that shit myself and I didn't know where the fuck to go. And so that is what I'm doing to be organic to me. So I hope that that gave you a glimpse into who I am and why I do the things that I do the way that I do them. I hope that you are not only following me on Instagram and, you know, on Facebook, but I hope that you are actually going to that dopehippie-girl.com and reading some of my blogs. Some of them are just fun. I'm talking about the strains I smoke. That shit was nice. It gave me great orgasms, or I slept like a baby. You know, I was happy. I could clean my whole house when I was high on that shit. And sometimes I talk about products that I like. One of the best things about cannabis now is all of these products. And I've talked about this in a blog before. Back in the day, listen, you smoke cigars, you smoke Philly blunts, you smoke Dutch Masters, and you smoke Swishers. And if you were really from the hood, you would get this cigar called a Caribbean Round. And, you know, you'd be like, it's a big fucking long cigar. Oh, I'm smoking a Ribby. Oh, you smoking a Ribby? Oh, you big shit, my nigga. Like, we didn't, or top paper. We didn't have all these options. So now we got these, everybody want to be fancy. Everybody got a thing, you know. I'm going to be honest with you. I talk about a lot of the products that I use. A lot of them, I post them on Instagram. Some of them I posted where you can purchase them directly, you know, through my site. And some of them I don't talk about at all. You remember back in the day when you were a kid and your mother always told you if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say shit. So for the things that I don't say anything about, I ain't got nothing nice to say about them. And that's a struggle too, because in my personal life, I'm very blunt. I'm an Aries woman raised by an Aries man. I'm very blunt. I'm very, you know, honest, to the point. I don't sugarcoat anything. I call a spade a spade. I kick the shit to people real. And I shied away from doing that in my blog when it came to testing different products, because I was looking at it like, damn, I'm black. I'm not necessarily what people would call a video vixen, one of these Instagram model looking chicks who's super pretty, and no matter what you do or say, you can get away with it because that bitch fine. She can say whatever she want to say. I'm a regular looking ass fat bitch. I put on makeup sometimes and it's like, she looks like a person now. But for the most part, I'm not that chick. I'm plus size. I keep to myself. I'm black. And I didn't want to step on anybody's toes or piss anybody off by saying, yeah, I tried your product, but it's shit. And I'm still battling with that, because am I doing my followers a disservice if I say, hey, I'm smoking these Empire Benny papers, and then neglect to tell them that these shits burn horrible as a motherfucker. They burn uneven as a bitch, and they're hard to roll because the paper's super thick. I'm doing you a disservice if I don't say that to you. You know what I'm saying? So I think in the new year, I'm going to do more being organic to me and being blatantly honest, because at the end of the day, my one little opinion about some papers ain't gonna stop a $1 billion corporation. It's just not. But at the same time, I can talk my shit and smoke my weed, because even though it doesn't feel like it as it stands, this is still very much a free country, and we have freedom of speech. And so on that note, I'm going to continue to exercise my First Amendment rights, and I'm going to keep smoking my weed and talking my shit. And